So how do you increase single tenant buildings deal flow? Everything's occupied in your neighborhood, 3-mile radius. Well, number one, you can go outside. Number two, you can start calling brokerage firms that are advertising anywhere, selling buildings or whatever with occupied tenants, and you ask them, do you have anything coming soon? Now, I'm not telling you to lie, but one of the best ways to attract these deals is to tell the brokers, well, we may be looking at location for us to grow with some tenants that we're looking at getting a franchise from them. So you have the franchisor, which is the company that gives you the franchise agreement. So you say, we have a handful of franchisors that we're working with, and we would love a good location. Do you have anything coming up? These brokers will know, because an owner would say, my gosh, I got 7 months left on this lease. Can we see if you can help me get a tenant? Or can you please help me list the property? I don't want it to be sitting vacant, I got a payment. So brokers will know. So you're gonna get a handful of brokers in the area. You're gonna call them. You don't have to tell them much other than, do you have anything available? Keep my name, let me know. You don't have to tell them I work with Mixif, I'm joint venture. You don't have to tell them anything. That's one way. The other way is to look at what's for lease and then call the owner or the broker who listed for lease and ask them, would they be interested in selling? Are you interested in selling? And then you can maybe put that property under contract. And the third way is to look, if it's really that hot, your market is very hot, which is not my favorite, but it's the third way, is to find lots, like a lot in land that is between good national tenants, and then you could see what the price is, and then you could say, I'd like to put it under contract, and you can start smiling and dialing with the national tenant list and say, would you like us to do a build to suit? We have this lot for you. Neighboring tenants are this, across the street is that. But I'd like to add one more thing on those lots, and I think we have other questions on these lots. The key thing when you're gonna buy a lot, a little land, and build a standalone building on it for a tenant, when you come to me and you say, Cherif, we're in the joint venture, can we do this? I'm gonna ask you, how much they want for the land? Okay, they want 500,000. Okay, we're gonna build for a tenant, it's gonna cost between 500 to 800,000. So let's say it's gonna cost, just for the sake of the simplification, another 500,000 to erect a building that's a single tenant building with a drive-through. So then it's gonna take us about 12 months. Getting the title 4 months, building 6-7 months, getting it all ready, let's say 12 months. So now for 12 months, we have the land, we paid 500, we have to pay another 500 for the build out. We're doing it because a tenant had said, I will do it, I'm signing a letter of intent, and I'm signing a lease in advance. The beauty about a deal like this is I'm gonna say, okay, we're gonna make $1 million, it's gonna cost us $1 million, we need to charge them so much for the lease. And I'm not gonna say the numbers. Those who are in the joint venture agreement, you know my formulas, I'm not gonna disclose them to the world so you don't create your own competition. But you know our formulas. That deal I would do if the numbers make sense. I'll do it all day long because I can do this. Listen to me carefully now. I can option the land at 500,000 with non-refundable 100K. I say, if I don't build it, you keep the 100K. And if I build it and not exercise my option to buy it within 12 months, you keep my 100K plus the build out. They love it. The seller loves it. So I give them a 100K option. Then I go to the bank and say, look, I got this tenant signing a lease for me to get this location built. They're gonna give me the construction loan in 5 phases. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna cost me practically maybe another 100,000. So for 200,000, I'll build the building for $1 million. When it's done, the tenant now will occupy it. I'll refinance, cash out my entire $1 million, and I'll have positive cash flow, and I can probably sell it at $1.7 million when we're done. Big money is made when you intelligently put the pieces together. And how do you do that? Through training, ability to communicate, being a bit creative, and moving forward doing it. You will never figure it all out. I watched a few years ago the movie The Secret. I don't believe in closing your eyes and hoping the universe will bring you anything. I like taking action. One part that I liked the most is there was this guy driving and he had, I don't know, he couldn't see very well with his light, only 12 feet out as he was driving. But he went in this long trip seeing only 12 feet out. And that is really how you do sometimes business and how you do transactions in real estate. I can see, I know where I want to end up, but I can only see maybe the next 2 steps, and then the next 2 steps, and next 2 steps, like playing chess. You're gonna plan 10 steps ahead, but you play two moves, and then the other person changes on you. So you gotta change another 10 steps, but then play 2 moves. And the one who wins is the one who can plan out the farthest. I should say farthest if it's actual physical distance, but the one who can plan out the furthest, because it has to do with a little bit of spiritual creativity and all this. So the most training you get, and the better the ability you communicate your thoughts and ideas, the better you're gonna make these deals. And you're gonna make them creatively, and you can make a lot of money. But the deal is not gonna happen if you tell me the land is $1 million. What do you think, Cherif? What do I think with what? Do we have a tenant? Is the tenant coming? How much is the tenant gonna pay? Do they want to build the building? Because some tenants say, we will build the building, give you a land lease. Okay, you're gonna pay me so much now for the land lease because the land costs so much. So review that part, and you will see it's not so difficult to put it together, but effort and knowing what the end goal is will keep you on track.